I'm Fox. My pronouns are they, them.
And I'm Kristen, and my pronouns are she, her. And today we are going to be talking about building out our team. We're getting a little closer to production, a few months away, so we're starting to think about some of our key collaborators and people we're going to be bringing on board to help us make this film, and having conversations about what's important for us in these team members that we're bringing on board.
Yeah, I think, it's not exactly like a shopping list, but there are sort of things that like work for you or don't work for you in terms of finding a partner or a fit with people. And a lot of that comes from, past experiences of either clicking or not with other people. And we talked a bit about this in an earlier video about creative partnership, right? Where what works in our partnership and why it works. And I think that's something that we're taking into the process of starting to bring on collaborators. So is there some things that you are particularly looking for, Kristen, when you are evaluating potential team members to bring on?
I think this is something we both agree on, but right off the bat, a positive attitude is so important. Someone who is solutions orientated versus negativity or can't see past the problem, get stuck in something. And for me, I think another thing that's really important is people who are also on board with the values that are important to us for the project. Yeah. So I need them to be on board with creating a very collaborative environment, considering other people's opinions and their expert opinions and the strengths they bring to the table. People who are invested in helping us reach a sustainable production. Yeah. Those types of things. I generally being on board with the type of production we're trying to build and create.
Yeah, for sure. I think the other thing that is important in, especially the creative positions is people who really understand the mission of the project too, why we're telling this story. Obviously we have very strong reasons why we are telling this story, but to bring someone in and have them not be invested in that or not have some kind of stake, whatever it is, whether they have a personal connection or not, but just that they are ready to be champions alongside us in pursuit of, telling a story that we hope anyway is going to be impactful, is going to be meaningful to people. And that includes things just understanding that we want to make sure we have a diverse and robust crew and cast, and not questioning that or being well, that's going to be hard to find, or, sort of pushing back on that without investing in the values part of that. I think values is a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think another thing is that I'm thinking about, as in particular, say, thinking about a DP or something like that, is because we come from scrappy roots, we come from figuring out how to do everything with nothing and pushing at what's possible within, very limited resources. I think we're both looking for people who, have an artistic voice and have a vision to bring to the table, but also understand the limits and are going to find that interesting to work within, are excited about being in the backcountry and not having a full gear truck and still being able to create beautiful images, and understanding that there has to be a balance, because there will be times when we're in locations where we can be all decked out, and then there will be times when we can't. And going with the flow of that, I think that's important to me in finding a collaborator, is somebody who can flex in that way, because that's how I approach my directing in that way too. There's going to be times where I'm I want it exactly like this, and there's going to be times where it's going to be more flowy and kind of loose. Yeah. So finding a collaborator that works with me in that way.
And I mean, since this project is so much in the outdoors, it's going to have to be someone that's okay with being out in the elements and not having all the creature comforts of a studio shoot necessarily. So that is actually an element we have to keep in mind when we're finding our teammates.
Yeah, all of our crew, not just the keys, are going to have to sort of be on board with this okay, we're going to be dirty, and we're going to be tired, and we're going to be hiking through brush, and
you'll probably get a little wet.
Yes, we're planning to shoot in the season where it will be wet in Vancouver. So yeah, just people who are on board for that, and not just tolerating it, but maybe are like actually excited to be on a set that has those kind of unique challenges, because that is particular to our show, our project.
So as we said, we're starting to seek out these collaborators to be on our team, and we have confirmed 2 executive producers so far that are amazing mentors to us in this early stage.
Yeah.
So the first person we've confirmed is Amber Ripley, who is a Vancouver-based producer who I've been working with for the past 6 months now. Amber has made over 10 features here in BC, and some of her recent projects include Cryptic, which premiered at South by Southwest, directed by Courtney Roy. She's got 2 features coming out in the near future, The Bearded Girl and All Night Wrong, and then we shot, I helped her on a feature that shot in the fall called Stranger in Town, starring Sophie Nélisse. So she's an amazing resource for all things kind of related to production here in BC and business affairs and navigating all these new levels we're approaching on the business side of things.
And even just experience shooting in more remote areas and remote locations and being able to bring some of that knowledge to, you know, kind of like pass that on to you and to us to help us like find the right, you know, like understand what the logistics will be for that. I think it's been really valuable. And of course, like she meets a lot of our criteria as far as, you know, positive and encouraging and a good attitude and social solutions oriented and all of those things. So yeah, it's been a great addition to our team. It's really exciting actually to like build outward from just you and me and starting to bring other people on. And the other exec producer that we have brought on is a filmmaker, a director and cinematographer and producer, Jay Stevens, who is probably best known, I would think, for some of their directing work on a bunch of really, you know, good Canadian shows like Sort of and Astrid and Lily Save the World, and I'm not sure if this one is Canadian or not, but the Z Suite. And their feature premiered at TIFF a couple of years back, and they are currently developing a show with Crave called Slow Pitch. And they are just like essentially a really cool resource for me as a director, because they have the directing background, and we have been, you know, sort of connecting over like the script, and we'll be talking about, you know, the vision and things like that. And so it's kind of nice to have exec producers that complement each of us in different ways too, because then each of them can do something unique for the project, which I think is really, really cool.
Yes, so. Definitely very cool. And now that we are, and we're starting to broaden our search, we have confirmed a casting director. So we're really excited to get started on the casting journey. That was the first position that we've locked in.
Yes.
And next we're looking towards the next kind of bigger department heads. So something I've been thinking about to kind of help me along the way is bringing on a line producer or a production manager that will be a good fit to complement my skill set and help us with all those niggly little crew production budget items.
Yeah, just like the practicalities, right? Yeah. Yeah, and I am starting my hunt for my DOP, my cinematographer. I am really excited about this part of the process because, as we've talked about in earlier videos, like I have a very visual mind in terms of how I see the film and what I am attracted to, you know, as far as images. But I tend to look at things like art and photography more than other films for reference. And so, you know, it's kind of fun thinking about finding someone who can mesh with me in that way and understand my references and then bring their kind of technical skill with the camera to the project and their own, you know, their own spin on it, finding the right collaboration, I guess. And that, you know, they're going to be one of my most important collaborators, creative collaborators on the show. So really thrilled that we are slowly inching towards that part of the team coming on board.
And hopefully we'll have some announcements soon of people that we've attached to the project that we can let you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, everybody. That's it for this video, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.